of authority and power. Therefore, parents must be very careful in treating children within the family, because what they learn and observe in the household will be cascaded to their communities. As they grow, let us take a look at how most of our families see roles and responsibilities. At home, oftentimes, children will see that the father is the one responsible in terms of taking care of their children or taking care of the mother. The father is the one responsible for the material well-being of the wife and the children and elderly dependents, while the mother is the one responsible for the emotional and spiritual welfare of the family unit. But of course, everything is being evolved. Di iba na rin. Let's talk about gender stereotype and gender bias. I got this data from Scotland Education about gender stereotype and their effect on young people. Here's the data. In the year 2016, only 7% of engineering modern apprenticeship in the UK were filled with girls. So, ibig sabihin, 93% mga lalaki doon. 10% of primary school teachers in Scotland are women. So, 90% are, of course, women. 87% of women think that women are judged more for their looks than ability. 38% of fathers lie to their boss or employer to take off work to spend with their children. Girls accounted for just 16% of students enrolled for a computer science degree. So, ibig sabihin, mas marami pa rin ang lalaki. Women earn an average of 18% less than men. Let's define gender stereotype. It is a generalized view of preconception about the attributes of characteristics that are ought to be possessed by members of a particular social group, or the roles that are or should be performed by members of a particular social group. Gender bias is also defined as this refer to a person receiving different treatment based on the person's real or perceived gender identity. My next slide talks about colors, clothes, and even toys. These are the examples that are associated with gender. It is the connotation of some that blue is for men and pink is for women. Robots must be played only by male and dolls are for female. And pants should be worn by men and skirt for women. But thank you, because of what is happening right now, that we are being open already, that we appreciate even men wearing pink, and some ladies' favorite colors are even blue. We have also a research. I also gathered one of the research where sabi niya rito, men and women differ in their perception of gender bias in a research institution by Garcia, by Forzen, and by Sanchez, that the research, it says here that the largest gender differences were observed when participants were asked about leadership perception. Although both women and men mostly agreed with the statement, women are perceived as a good leaders by women. There was a slight shift in the distribution of responses towards a more negative perception by women. The difference between women and men perception was more striking for the for the question, women are perceived as good leaders by women, which showed that women felt that women leadership abilities are less recognized by men. When respondents were asked whether men and women receive equal treatment in their department, 87% of men strongly agreed that women's perception of equality were significantly lower, and only a 69% agreed with the equality of the treatment received, with the average of 6.05 for women. Female researchers perceive less gender equality in the treatment provided by their department. And also in the church. The church also influences how young children see inequality. As they grow up, more men are serving the altars than women. It is good now that there are altar servers who are women already, but still women are outnumbered by men. Church groups are mostly composed of women, and leaders will take charge of men. Leading the Bible sharing and other mostly men, we cannot blame that because historically men are more recognized than women, and it becomes traditional that we're passed to generation. Now churches have been involving women. But again, there are fewer number of leaders than men. Even in movies, advertisements. When we watch movies and advertisement, most of the stories portrayed by female are the weak role, who always cry, a role of a martyr, while male artist role is the stronger one, inaapi ang babae, and others. Pero hindi naman lahat ng pelikula. Look at the slides that I'm going to share to you. If you try to look at this, pictures, what did you observe? Pag macho ka, okay, ang sabi nila ay Adonis. Pero pag payat ka na babae, ang sabi nila ay Barbie. So there is really a difference. Even in sports, as you can see, yes, what men can play, women can also play, like the basketball and even boxing, okay? But the impact and interest of the community, there is a slight difference. The interest of community is more if it is being played by male, like basketball and boxing. Even in profession, some profession are denominated by sex. Pag engineer ka, lalaki, pero marami na ring engineers na babae. Okay? If you are in the medical courses or programs, pag babae ka, nurse, pag lalaki ka, doctor, but of course, marami na rin mga babaeng doctor, ha? Okay? So, even in the IHTM, pag nasa front desk ka, babae, pero marami na rin lalaki, of course. Good, because here in the University of Baguio, management, it is well represented in terms of gender. So let's go back to our definition. What is gender? Gender and development is about recognizing the gender biases that impede development because they prevent people from attaining their full potentials. They exacerbate social inequity and inequality. They distort the understanding of social realities. Always remember that development is for all. Justice and equity demands that everyone in society, whether male or female, has the right to the same opportunities to achieve a full, satisfying, and peaceful life. Everyone must be aware that development that is gender responsive should expand women's range of choices, address the effective participation in and their enjoyment of benefits, strengthen their capabilities to attain a full, satisfying, and peaceful life, to achieve gender equality and equity, respect, and cultural revolution. The SDG are the blueprint to achieve better and more sustainable future for all. SDG, the gender equality, is a universal call to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls and men. Gender bias is undermining our social fabric and devalues all of us. It is not just a human right issue. It is a tremendous waste of world human potential. By denying women equal rights, we deny half the population a chance to live life at its fullest. Political, economic, and social equality for women will benefit all the world's citizens. Together, we can eradicate prejudice and work for equal rights and respect for all. As Michelle Obama says, there is no limit what we as can women accomplish. One of my favorite, the late Senator Defensor Santiago, sabi niya, babae ka, pangangalagaan sa iyong karapatang umangat sa buhay, respetuhin, maging pantay sa paninindigan ng lipunan. Maraming salamat po. Thank you again to everyone.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for that inspiring lecture for us. You can ask questions regarding this topic by clicking the link on the chat box maya-maya lamang. Grabe, no? Yung talagang gender equality, yung talagang tinutukan ni Dean. Damang-daba yung ba yun, Maynard?
Oo ate, talaga namang naintindihan ko kung ano nga ba ang gender. Tapos kung paano natin dapat i-express lang ang sarili natin without hesitating. And then, as we move forward, we will present a video presentation that will open up our minds and widen our knowledge about women empowerment. Let's watch this.
Gender equality is a human right, but our world faces a persistent gap between men and women. Men are still at a disadvantage. They say women aren't strong, they are weak. They say women aren't powerful, they are powerless. They say women can't be managers, they're mere employees. Women are supposed to conform to what society dictates. Women are designed to stand behind men, to be followers. But we need to wake up. Women no longer hide behind shadows. Women are now leaders. They have a voice. They have the power to create change. We should empower girls and young women to make a stand. Women empowerment does not have to be so radical. We only have to fight for what is right, to pursue what makes us better. I am a woman, I have a voice. When the road gets tough, tough women adjust their crowns and keep going. We need to change how we perceive ourselves. We need to step up as a woman and take the lead. Babae ako, hindi babae lang.
Babae ako, hindi babae lang.
Babae ako, hindi babae lang.
Babae ako, hindi basta babae lang.
Babae ako, hindi babae lang.
Babae ako, hindi babae lang.
Sapagkat babae ako, hindi babae lang.
Ayan, talaga namang napakagandang video presentation yan, no? Talagang inspiring. So, nakaka-goosebumps talaga, no? Lalo na yung last part na babae ako, hindi babae lang. Sang-ayon ka ba doon, Maynard?
Tama yan. Dapat hindi natin minamaliit ang mga babae kasi
Mhm.
mahirap ang mga trabaho nila.
Tama.
And also, gusto ko din i-add yung kanina na ang responsibility is hindi lang sa sex but in gender. And we should stop the stereotyping that girls are weaker than men, di ba? So ito, mas exciting tong mga next na speakers natin. Moving on now to our second topic. This is also going to make us invigorating and rebuild enthusiasm, not just for the women, but in all gender. May we call on now Ma'am Aileen May Marcelino to introduce the second speaker.
Yes, hello. Thank you, Janina. So, yes, today I am privileged of this task to introduce our speaker. Having the privilege is because she's someone whom we look up to, a woman of virtue and substance. She will be tackling the subject related to gender issues and student well-being. And she is a woman of virtue and substance. She's living inspiration to all, to everyone, especially those who are under her care and guidance. We are so lucky that she spared her precious time of her hectic schedule, and just to be with us today. Our speaker is a native of La Trinidad, Benguet. She completed her bachelor's degree in nursing from the St. Louis University, and her desire to grow professional is evident as she pursued her master's degree in the University of Northern Philippines in Vigan, Ilocos. She attended numerous and various training and seminar, which are too many to mention. This wow, really. Her profile is wow, I would say. And she's happily married and wonderfully blessed with 3 children. Moreover, she's presently employed as the Level 4 coordinator here at the School of Nursing. Without further ado, let's welcome a woman of worth, our very own Miss Kate M. Banwa.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Aileen, for that very sincere introduction. Good afternoon to everybody. I'm Kate, and I am tasked to talk about gender-related issues and student youth well-being. So before I discuss the different issues, I would like to present first some of the objectives. So the very first one here is to understand gender-related issues and concerns of student youth. So after trying now to discuss, or after finishing the different issues, let us now try to determine what are some strategies based on a more gender-informed and responsive approach to student youth well-being. So I would just like to present first the reality we're in, or where are the places where gender inequality can actually happen. So the very first one here is the household. Normally, we view home to be the place of love, support, care, and safety. But the question is, what if the home is where the harm is? So the child feels unsafe in the place we know it's the safest. Second is the community. So in a community, in a nation, discrimination can still happen. It can be part of their culture, their tradition, and even it's commonly observed among conflict zones. The third one here is in the workplace. Some institutions, they provide managerial positions only to males. Females are more inferior than males. And lastly, even school. Discrimination is still observed. The very first issue that we want to discuss here is child and early marriage. So from the word early marriage, meaning they were not able to reach the legal age for marrying another person. So what's the definition of this? It's a marriage or union in which one or both spouses are under 18 years old. So another word that is related to your early marriage is a forced marriage. So what do we mean by this? By the word forced, they do not have the consent that is free, full, and informed. So when we say forced marriage, this is a marriage in which one or both parties have not personally expressed their full and free consent to the union. So this child marriage is actually a form of forced marriage. So let's look at some statistics. Let us start first worldwide. So worldwide, more than 650 million women alive today had experienced early marriage, or they were married before the age of 18 years old. And every year, 12 million women had been marrying even before reaching the age of 18, or in every minute, that is 28 girls. Now let's look at the ratio. 1:5. One girl is marrying before the age of 18 years old. 1 in every 5 girl is marrying before the age of 18 years old. And in some or in least developed countries, this numbers actually doubles. So looking at the graph presented below, 40% of these girls marry before the age of 18 years old, and 12% of children or girls marry before 15 years old. So looking at the statistics presented, child or early marriage is very evident in the different areas of the world. So how about in the Philippines? Is it also happening? Yes, it is also happening here in the Philippines. Looking at the incidences, okay, there is 1 out of 6 girls are marrying before the age of 18 years old. So let us now try to look at the effects of this early marriage to the child. Early and frequent pregnancy and childbirth also result in increased maternal mortality rates. Looking at the diagram, so we can now view that instead of the child enjoying the joys of childhood, playing with their classmates, with their friends, but now, because of early marriage, they are to face the difficulties, the challenges, the trials of pregnancy and motherhood with their immature structures. 96% of countries have specified when can someone legally marry, or they have established an age wherein someone can actually legally marry. Unlike the 6 countries, they were not able to establish what is the legal age for marriage. These 6 countries involved Guinea, Gambia, Somalia, South Sudan, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen. So that's why even if they have established a minimum age for marriage, some still ignored this age of marrying. So let us now try to look at the summary of our discussion about child marriage. So this was stated by Anju Malhotra, the General Advisor or the Principal Gender Advisor of UNICEF. So she stated when a girl is forced to marry as a child, she faces immediate and lifelong consequences. Her odds of finishing school decrease, while her odds of being abused by her husband and suffering complications during pregnancy increase. There are also huge societal consequences and higher risk of intergenerational cycles of poverty. So first, we have unable to finish school, ability or there is tendency of being abused. Third, there are complications of pregnancy. So it does not just provide complications during pregnancy, it can also lead to the death of the girl or the child. And then societal consequences. Because of not being able to go to school, they are not able to look for a job, they only stay at home. So they cannot share with the economic progress of the family. So there is cycle of poverty. The second issue that we are going to discuss is educational deprivation. But first, let us look at some stats. Nearly 1 in 3 adolescent girls from the poorest households around the world has never set foot in a classroom. So if there are 30 adolescents in a community, 10 of them were unable to go to school. Before, the role of women were actually marginalized. Upon birth, their roles are already predetermined. So if it is a female, if it is a daughter, they assume that this daughter will now perform household chores, care responsibilities, and then if that is a son, they are going to provide quality education because they know that the child or the son will now become the breadwinner. So with this point of view before, the females were not given the chance to actually enhance their full potential because they were not given the opportunity to go to school. The third issue now is the unequal property rights. Looking at the graph about gender differences in property and inheritance laws. So Europe and Central Asia, we do not see here a gender gap when it comes to inheritance. But going down, you have here 45.26 under MENA, or your Middle East and North Africa. It's very prominent that there is still gender stereotyping when it comes to inheritance or land ownership. The fourth issue is the gender-based violence. So when we say gender-based violence, it includes physical, mental, sexual abuse, and it also involves economic harm. So when we say economic harm, that is the inability of the person to partake in financial decision making. What else? The person is not given access to money or any financial resources. So what else are involved in your gender-based violence? It also includes threats of violence, coercion, or manipulation. So even if you did not physically inflicted harm, but there is a threat in the words that you have used or in your actions, that is still considered gender-based violence. Let us look at some stats, okay? So in 2018, globally, over 1 in 4 women aged 15 years or over, or a total of 641 million women, have been subjected to physical or sexual violence by a husband or intimate partner at least once in their lifetime. So that is the incidence of gender-based violence around the world. The last issue that I'm going to discuss is gender discrimination at work. So since our focus is on the students or the youth, this is just an overview. So we have mentioned a while ago that discrimination or inequality, gender inequality, can also happen in the workplace. So this is an example of a research pertaining to the workplace, the impact of gender discrimination on a woman's mental health. The result of this research, they have presented that work discrimination or gender discrimination can affect the performance of the females or the women and even their progress at work. So these are the issues, some of the issues that are related to gender. Now, let us look at the different strategies that the government had been doing and other citizens in order to uplift their well-being. One of the strategies is the updated Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Plan for 2019 to 2025. There are several coverages of this plan, which included the one concretized by President Rodrigo Duterte, that is the Magna Carta of Women, or that is the Republic Act 9710. So this is a comprehensive law that focuses on the rights of women to eliminate or eradicate discrimination. So examples of this salient aspects of this law is the ability of the woman to enter special fields like that of military, police. What else? They have an increased leave benefits if they had undergone surgery due to gynecologic conditions. They're also able to enter third level positions. So wherein before it was only offered to males. And then when it comes to portrayal in films or movies, it should not be discriminatory. So these are just examples of strategies under this plan. So other strategies included another law that was enacted is the RA, or the Republic Act 11596. So that is an act prohibiting the practice of child marriage and imposing penalties for violations thereof. So in the pursuit of this policy, the state shall abolish all traditional and cultural practices and structures that perpetuate discrimination, abuse, and exploitation of children, such as the practice of child marriage. So This Republic Act 11596 was enacted or signed. This is signed law on December 10, 2021, which promotes the welfare of Filipino children by prohibiting and protecting them from entering to any kind of child marriage that will be detrimental to their overall development as a productive citizen. There are several strategies or aspects of the Republic Act. So the very first one here is the empowerment of children through the provision of information, skills, and support networks. Letter B, enhancement of children's access to and completion of quality education. If you can still remember our statistics a while ago, 1 out of 3 adolescent girls had never set foot in a classroom. So with this Republic Act, with this law, they are already giving opportunity for the child to enter or to receive quality education. By then, if the child is already educated, they are able to, children are able to enter the workforce. They are more competent to work, and at the same time, they can increase economy. So this already eradicates the cycle of poverty. Letter C, provision of economic support and incentives to children and their families. And letter D, application of strategic interventions to influence and empower parents and community leaders. So with this law, they are not just empowering the child or the children, but they have included already parents and community leaders, so that hand in hand, they can eradicate gender inequality. Another law is the Republic Act 7610, or that is the Special Protection of Children Against Child Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act. So child abuse is punishable by law. So it includes imprisonment, or it can be a fine, or both. So this is also one way of safeguarding the children. Another initiative is also in relation to the SDG, or that is the Sustainable Development Goal, specifically number 5, which is the gender equality 5.3. So this eliminates forced marriages and gender mutilation. So these are just examples of strategies wherein government or non-government organization had been advocating in order to prevent this gender-related issue. This we support is an application, so you can download it in your cell phones. But when it comes to professional referrals to psychologists, psychiatrists, this is limited. Their services are actually limited because this application is particularly in Caraga, in National Capital Region. We do not have here still in CAR, so probably in the future. And then if you're going to download, by the way, this application, it has an auto response, but we can use some of the features of this application. Normally, a person who experiences particular stress, discrimination, any form of uncomfortable circumstance, it's not easy for them to talk about their feelings to other individuals. But with this application, we are able to look for particular strategies that can help us personally. So I'm going to show you an example of this application. So if you're going to open, after downloading the application, what you are going to see will be some instructions, or there is an auto response. Somebody will chat, okay, and then you're going to choose some of the options, whether you would want to talk or you're okay, or you're in a bad weather or bad mood. So there is an auto response, and then you can select if you try to, or you would want some tips. So these are examples of some mental health tips that you can open there. The first one here, you have self-care tips, others, 5 ways to deal with stress, ways to cope with grief, and ways to stay motivated. So you can open this application, you can download the steps in order for you to enhance, in order for us to enhance our well-being. So with these strategies like um, um, supporting education. We have programs from the government, non-government organizations. We have here some softwares or applications that we can open and download some pieces of advice or counsels. We have here positive results. So based from UNICEF, 25 million child marriages have been prevented globally. So what is the reason for this? First, the increased rate of girls' education. So there are some organizations that support children's education. Second, the proactive investment of governments in adolescent girls. Last, greater public awareness of the harms of child marriage. So other statistics, let us look at some other accomplishments. So this is actually statistics coming from the Global Partnership for Education. So twice as many girls are on the path of gender equality in partner countries. So GPE have several partners when it comes to education. To name a few, Afghanistan, Somalia, Guinea, okay, Gambia. So these are just examples. So what else? 73% of girls finished primary school in 2020 in partner countries compared to 70% in 2013. So after 10 years, there had been a 3% increase in the education status in some partner countries. Next, 52.5% of girls completed lower secondary school in 2020 in partner countries compared to 46% in 2013. So after a decade, again, we have an increase of 6.5% in relation to the completion of secondary school. So these are examples of accomplishments when it comes to gender equality. These are examples of verbatims of Filipinas who once in their lives experienced gender discrimination. So the very first one here is seek growth. So let us look at one of the verbatim of a Filipina. Empowering oneself is nurturing the needs of the soul. We are masters of multitasking. We have here the word empowering oneself. So in order for us to be empowered, we have to speak up. Sometimes it's difficult to talk because we are ashamed, we are afraid that other people might not accept us because of our differences, how we were brought up, or even our culture. But in order for other people to understand how we feel, our emotions, our circumstance, we have to speak up. If we cannot tell it to our friends, we have experts. We have counselors in our school wherein we can tell them what we feel. They will understand us. Another is whatever that bothers you, just do it. Period. Second, learn new skills and master those so you will always exceed expectations. So if you are good at what you do, what skill, whatever skill that is, just do it. So learn to enhance that skill. And then try new things. Do not be afraid to try new things. Think outside the box. Go out of your comfort zone. As long as discipline and appropriateness of your action is there. What else? I am transforming my failures into hopes to have strength in order to try again. Try again. So meaning there can be failures on the way, but you are not afraid to try again. And then you are transforming failures into hopes. So you should be optimistic. Another is to welcome change. We know that change is the only permanent thing in this world. But let us try to look at what the Filipinas said. Empowering myself as a woman means to never stop changing for the better. Always be open for growth. So never stop changing for the better. Always be open for growth. So it did not specify there that you are going to open for growth if the circumstance is convenient. But it is always, whether the circumstance is easy, convenient, or difficult, you have to be open for growth. Because sometimes the most difficult, the most heartening circumstance, that is where you are able to learn most. So always be open for growth. Another, learning to take a break and not feel guilty about it means a lot in growing holistically. Speak up against any act, overt and covert, that violates any rights of women. In that manner, you exude confidence to yourself and to others, creating a safer society for women of all ages. So please do not be afraid to talk. As we have mentioned a while ago, there are people who are willing to talk, willing to listen to your plea, to your feelings, to your emotions. So they will understand. We will understand you. Third, be your best version. So it's not better. It should be the best version. I strive to be the best version of myself. I think the only thing that we should compare as a woman is the old version of ourselves. Always be positive for good changes. How come we compare only ourselves with the old version? It's because comparing ourselves with other people is very risky. If we try to compare ourselves and we are able to determine that we are doing much or we are more capable than others, we tend to brag our performance. But if we are able to determine that what we are doing is less than that of the other people, we tend to become frustrated. So never compare yourself with other people, but always bring out the best in you. Another, learn to love yourself. Choose faith over fear, bias, stereotypes, and discriminations. So learn to love yourself. Choose faith. If you think your situation, your circumstance is probably you are receiving less help, try to pray. Pray to God for strength, support, and ask that other people will try to understand you and eventually help you. So do not think that you are alone. So you can ask help from other people and mainly from God. Lastly is to walk with pride. Instead of getting disheartened, women experiencing discrimination should walk with pride and turn setbacks into triumphs. Women should not be swayed by the opinions of others so long as they cause no harm to others. So, being optimistic, doing the right thing. There is appropriateness of action, being disciplined. So as long as you do not harm other people, so you do the things that you do, as long as you are not hurting, stepping on other people. So learn to walk with pride. And if you are being real, you can achieve all the greatness in life. With nothing to hide, you can walk with pride. By being yourself, trusting yourself, and believing in yourself, there will be no room for hatred or for other people's beliefs. All it takes is for you to remain focused and persistent in order to overcome bias, stereotypes, and discrimination. So if you can see, persistent. So meaning, it's not easy to follow this course of action. So it takes a lot of persistence and endurance. So thank you very much. I hope you have learned something and good afternoon. So these are my references for the slides and for the talk. So thank you very much and good afternoon.
Thank you, Mom, for the wonderful and magnificent discussion. That is timely and relevant at this time. There is a lot of women who are suffering from bullying and discrimination. And I want to reiterate this quotation a while ago that walk with pride. Proud ka kung sino ka. Dapat ganon.
Ayan, tapos add ko din na talagang tinamaan ako dun sa may yung gender discrimination. Kung nakinig kayo na parang, kasi mas madalas na nade-discriminate yung girls, as I said earlier, na sinasabi nila na women are weaker than men. So let's stop that discrimination because never underestimate women's ability, diba? And Ma'am Kate Banwa and our Dean, of course, talagang hindi sila nagpatalo sa discrimination na ito. Wala sila ngayon sa posisyon nila kung nagpadala sila sa discrimination na yon. They are really a good models for us. And also then yung sa may education something, na we are really privileged to have our study, especially here in University of Baguio. Kasi talagang yung mission and vision ng UB talagang ina-apply nila sa bawat estudyante at bawat instructors dito at any courses. May add ka ba, Howard?
Ayan, tama. Saka example na lang din sa'yo, di ba? Hindi ka naman nandito kung wala kang lakas ng loob, di ba? Saka example pa lang sa'yo, napakagaling mo ng maging MC, di ba, partner? So yun. So before tayo mag-start sa next segment ng program natin, we have a intermission number coming from the Ultra Meraki UB Sun Performing Arts. So let's give them a virtual round of applause, please.
Look at me, I will never ask for a perfect bride or a perfect daughter, can it be? I'm not meant to play this part. Now I see that if I were truly to be myself, I would break my family's heart. Who is that girl I see staring straight back at me? Why is my reflection someone I don't know? Somehow I cannot hide who I am, though I've tried. When will my reflection show who I am inside? When will my reflection show who I am inside?
Ayan, so thank you for that spectacular performance that you have shared with us. So talaga namang napakadaming mga talented students dito no sa University of Baguio. Sangayon ka ba doon, partner?
Oo, partner, di ba talagang pinatunayan nila kung ano ang nursing?
Tama.
Because nursing is an art sa nga nila, di ba?
Tama, nursing is an art. So yun, let's move forward as we welcome our third speaker for today's event, which will be rest assured that many of us will feel related. Talaga naman dito sa panahon natin ngayon, di ba? Talagang talamak ang gender inequality, discrimination, at kung ano-ano pa. Di ba, Maynard?
Yes, partner. And to formally next tayo sa program, wag na tayong magpatumpik-tumpik pa, kara-karaka. May we call on Ma'am Emeline Mangawang to introduce our third speaker.
Okay, good afternoon once again. So it is a privilege to introduce our third speaker. Our third speaker came from is a district director of Manila Fire District of Bureau of Fire. She graduated Bachelor of Science in Nursing in St. Louis University in 1996. She entered BFP as Fire Officer 1, which is the lowest rank in 1996 after graduation. She entered the Philippine National Police Academy, PNPA, in 1997 as a cadet and graduated in 1999. She became a BFP officer as Inspector or Lieutenant in 1999 after graduating in PNPA. Graduated Masters in Public Administration in the University of Eastern Philippines in 2009. She graduated Public Safety Officers Supervisory Executive Course in Philippine Public Safety College in 2021. Promoted to Senior Superintendent or Colonel in February 2022. She has been the first female municipal fire marshal in Catarman, Northern Samar, first female provincial fire director of BFP Northern Samar, first female provincial fire director of BFP La Union, first female city director of BFP Mandaluyong, and also one of the two first female city fire marshal in NCR in March 2019 to June 2020. She is also the first female district fire director in Manila Fire District in January 2023 to present. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome Senior Superintendent Christine Dr. Kula.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, dear classmate, for that generous introduction. It is a privilege to be here in front of you. Sana maka-inspire ako sa inyo, lalo na sa mga kabataan. You know, magmula nung bata pa kayo, you have been preparing to what you will be in your future. You will make the difference. You will make your own future. So, ano bang foundation? Foundation yan, you study well. That's part dun sa preparation. And also empowering. Yan, nakikinig ako sa speakers kanina. Well said. Wala akong masabi. Hands up and big thumbs up para sa inyo because you have delivered your messages well and clearly. Na pag message pa ako regarding that would duplicate what you have been saying. So, ano lang ang pwede ko namang sabihin sa inyo is you empower yourselves and be proud that you are a woman. No, hindi pwedeng ito yung magiging hindrance sa'yo para mag-succeed sa future. So, what do you do now? You inspire, no? Reaching what I have reached ground, no? And inspire people because inspiring them would make them dream big also that you have been there, nanggaling ka doon, naging estudyante ka. Ngayon, you inspire them, you envision something for yourselves. No? Reaching that star starts with studying and listening to your parents, listening to your instructors, to your mentors, that you're envisioning yourself na pagdating ng araw, ito yung gusto ko maging. No? Pag meron kang nire-reach, how do you get there? No, kailangan mag-baseline ka na, ito, step by step gagawin ko. Para ito yung magiging guide sa'yo pagdating ng araw, ma-reach mo yung goal mo. No? You set the goal. Di ba sabi, smart dapat yung goal mo. So you should also be smart on how to get there. No? In the Bureau for Protection as well as the PNP and the GMP, this is a uniform service. Meaning ito, common dito talaga mga lalaki. Now, if you want to enter these agencies, you have to keep yourselves, be ready, no? Be empowered. Ito yung na-reach ko yung rank na ito ng pagsusumikap. Every time na merong hindrances, merong mga yun, yung disgruntlement na disgruntled ka kasi na-promote. Nisip ko pag tumigil ba ako doon, umangat ba ako, sa ano ako ngayon. So magkakaroon at magkakaroon ng mga hindrances atin. Bilang babae, ito yung mga hindrances atin. Competing with the male counterpart. Now, if you compete with the male counterpart, you compete with yourself first. No? Empower. Mag-aral ka pa. Kung kulang pa yung pag-aral, mag-aral ka pa ulit. Kung tapos na yung master mo, baka meron pang ibang opportunity na you offer sa inyo, you go on special trainings, and then you study well, then you minsan kayo humble. But pag alam niyo, pag estudyante ng nursing, hindi sa atin ang mag-aral. Mag-aral lang maigi, and so far, mandatory schoolings, nakukuha ko yung one. I-share ko lang para ma-inspire kayo. Sa Bureau for Protection, sa PNP and the BGN, kailangan merit and fitness. No, yung merit and fitness, pag nag-aral ka, you go on top. Sa amin po, to the university, meron tayong entrance examination. Usually, I'm glad to tell you, nurses, sila po ang So, if you study well and you go on top, ibig sabihin, yung chances mo na select for recruitment, mas mataas. Diba? Kasi yung mga nurses nagtatap. Babae nagtatap. Dito na nagtatap one, nurses and then babae. Siguro nga aral. Ayun, if you are able to pass the qualification, doon ka naman sa performance. So how well do you perform? So if you encourage yourself to give the best, maging dynamic ka, you study, improve yourselves, and then you show what you have there, makikita yan ng mga supervisors natin. And they will be the ones who will fight for you na ikaw ay ma-appoint, ikaw ay ma-appoint. So yung discrepancy, sabi natin, biases ba? There will always be biases, and overcoming this by empowering yourselves will put you on. Right now, sabihin natin there are some challenges like politics and the like. Let's use this and turn it as something positive na mag-aangat to sa atin, no? Make every opportunity as your inspiration para sa iyo mag-move forward ka. Yung kanya sinabi doon is love yourself. Dun sa speaker kanina said love you. Yes, you have to love yourself. Kasi if you love yourself, you will love also others. And how do you do that? You give the best and inspire other people. So, in part sa akin, in the uniform service talaga, kami yung mga babae, yung umaangat ngayon kasi nga nakikita nyo na we are rising in number. So that's gender equality. Sa promotion, we are at par with the boys already sa male counterparts natin. Napopromotan, nagiging general na, babae at saka lalaki. So dati, kung yung stereotyping natin yung lumati, so ngayon sa uniform service, unti-unti na nagbubukas na ang pintuan para dyan. So inspiring you, in the uniform service, we accept all 4-year courses. So yung nurses, kung gusto nyo sumali sa amin sa uniform service, you are much welcome. Kasi yung iba dyan, gusto talaga mag-abroad. Alam mo yung inspiration nila. Sa amin naman, we inspire other people na, lalo na yung babae, to join the uniform service. Because the community needs people who care more, no? Hindi sa community. Ang sabi nila sa nurses and others, no? May tender loving care. So kailangan yun din nagra-radiate papunta sa community so that they will feel ano yung gusto mong bigay na services sa community, no? I would like to inspire you kasi as a nurse, I have reached this rank ng may tender loving care and also loving and looking back to your past, no? So that you can move forward, di ba? Sa nga yung hindi makaka-reach sa pagtutunguhan ko, hindi marunong lumingon sa pinanggalingan. So ito yung I'm turning back now kasi I'm now inspiring you to move forward and then to look to your future with a bright smile, no? You equip yourselves now as a student, do your part, study well, no? So sa atin po lahat, doors have been opened for females, for women. Let's take this opportunity. Huwag nating sayangin sa pagiging babae. Tanggapin natin, embrace ourselves na we are part of the community and we have a vital role to play. So, in behalf of the Bureau of Fire Protection, sana katuwang namin kayo sa fire prevention kasi Fire Prevention Month, I will take this opportunity na to share our theme na sa pag-iwas sa sunog, hindi ka nag-iisa. So sana kayo mga students and those who are present in this meeting to be part of the Fire Prevention Month campaign of the Bureau of Fire Protection and syempre sa celebration ng Women's Month na everyone has a role. A male, female, pare-pareho po tayo na may role sa community. And that's my piece. So sana may natutunan tayo no, sa webinar na to and continue to inspire others po. Thank you.
Ayan. So thanks for learning lecture. Grabe, no? Yung talagang empowerment. Nandun na kay Ma'am Esa na. Ayan. So, we will also you guys to get to know more about our guest speaker for today. So, we will play a video regarding on the background of our guest speaker. Ayan. Thank you so much po for that video. talagang nakaka-goosebumps, no? Yung sound effects pa lang, dalang-dala na. So, now, you can ask questions again regarding this topic. So the link is already now posted doon sa ating chat box. So as we wait for your questions to receive, here is again an intermission number from the School of Nursing. Let's watch this.
I found love for me. Darling, just dive right in and follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes, you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it, darling. You look perfect tonight. Well, I found a woman stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home. Well, I found a love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. We are still kids, but we're so in love, fighting against all odds. I know we'll be alright this time. Darling, just hold my hand, be my girl, I'll be your man. I see my future in your eyes. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When I saw you in the dress, looking so beautiful, I don't deserve this, darling. You look perfect tonight. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. I have faith in what I see. Now I know I have met an angel in person, and she looks perfect. I don't
Ayan. Thank you so much po for that information number. Talagang ang daming talented dito sa School of Nursing. Hindi lang basta sa skills when it comes to hospitals, but also on the outside world. So now let's move on to entertain the questions sent from the students. So the first question here is, why is it important to take gender concerns into account in program design and implementation? So, shout out po sa mga speakers namin for today.
Yes, Janina. Am I clear? Is my audio clear?
Yes, ma'am, loud and clear po.
Yeah. So, why do you think gender is important that we are going to consider in terms of every program? As we have mentioned a while ago, everything must be represented. Wala dapat ang napaprioritize, wala dapat ang nagdi-discriminate. So it is very important that in every program that we are going to do, in every program that we are going to attend, everything should be well represented, especially in the gender. So as our keynote speaker have mentioned a while ago, it's good because in the program, di ba, Ma'am Christine, in their program, the gender is not an issue. Whether whatever that position is, di ba, sa kanya nga is the highest position, she was able to get it. So again, it should not be neglected. Our gender should not be put into side na we are very particular in everything. We can do it, okay, whether that is a male or a female, lahat is well represented and we can do it. Yun lang.
Can I also add, no po? Kailangan consider every aspect yan, kasama male and female, lalo na sa amin sa uniform service. Dahil we render 24/7 service, kailangan po na sa planning, tanggapin natin na may babae. Sa fire stations, doon sila mag-i-stay. So dapat may specific na quarters para sa babae at meron ding para sa lalaki. Ang dati kasi pang lalaki lang. So ngayon, when they're planning programs, kasama na dyan na i-consider na may mga babae. Also the personal protective equipment. So dati, alam naman natin ang stature ng mga lalaki, malalaki. So ngayon, they have to adjust and you have to consider, ito yung inclusivity, no? To include that women or females have the role also. So consider din natin, ano yung built nila? Mas maliliit sila, mas slim sila. So mga PPEs, dapat naka-adapt or naka-adjust na din sa kanila. So kasama ito sa planning, no? Kung saan natin dadalhin ng babae, may male comfort room, may female comfort room, meron tayong breastfeeding areas for the mothers. So ito yung mga pagbabago na dapat sa mga programming sa plans pa rin, nako-consider na tayo. Thank you.
Thank you so much po for the speakers na nag-send, nagbigay na information regarding this question. And kung sino man yung student na yon, I hope naging clear sa'yo yung answer nila. So Howard, do you want to add up?
Yes, so meron din tayong pangalawang question ulit dito. So ang question naman ngayon is, do you believe that there are any gender roles that people should be taught to follow? So yun po yung second question. So shout out po sa mga speakers, lecturers natin and speakers ngayon to answer the question.
Pwede bang pakiulit yung question? Medyo
Sige
sorry,
po. Ulitin ko na lang po yung question. Thanks. Do you believe that there are any gender roles that people should be taught to follow?
Pag sinabi mo kasing may gender equality, may gender roles ba? Kasi pag sinabi mo mother, specific ba ang role ng mother sa bahay? Kasi ang mother at father, may co-parenting responsibilities yan. Pagdating sa office, regardless kung ano yung gender ka, you have your different roles. Depende sa scope of work mo or sa position description ng job mo. So, dito is wala na dapat tayong gender bias na sabi mo ba, babae ka ba dito? Kailangan meron ka ng yung sense of equality in performing your jobs, no? There should be no discrimination among yourselves. So, babae ka man o lalaki ka, gender should not be an issue. Now, you have to do your job very well. So, para sa student, hindi pwedeng, ito lang ang role mo kasi lalaki ka, ito ang role mo dahil babae ka. Everyone has an equal role to play. So, we have to see to it na ito wala na tayong bias sa isa't isa na consider yourselves as co-equal. Para sa parents, co-parenting lang yan. Hindi pwedeng prescriptive ka na ang mother, naglalaba, nagluluto. Kasi ngayon, pareho ng working. So ang father also, pag wala ang mother, they also have to do what is should be done to the family. So yun yung part ko naman ko. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ma'am Christine. Actually, to add on that, for me, gender roles can give limitation kasi if we are going to follow yan nga, the role of depending on the gender, it gives already limitations. So like for example, if we are going to be very strict with the gender role, ibig sabihin there is already a gender bias on that. So, kagaya na yung example ni Ma'am Christine a while ago, is that like sa family nga, hindi na kasi tayo noon na ang babae nasa bahay lang. If you're going to follow the gender role, bilang sa bahay ka na lang. How about for the career woman? Paano din tayo na we are going to work also? So, nagkakaroon ng discrimination because of that gender role. Okay, so for me, everything should be equal. Everything should be equal. Kung naglalaba ang babae, maglalaba din ang lalaki. Kung nagtatrabaho ang babae, nagtatrabaho din ang lalaki. So everything must be equal. Like for example, for you guys, no, who are taking up nursing. So hindi pwedeng sasabihin natin in the delivery room dapat babae lang. Okay, so hindi pwede kasi babae lang nanganganak. No, the one that will come to assist despite of the gender, dapat we have to, we can do everything also. Okay, so yun po, sa akin is, everything should be, pwede, okay, despite of your gender. Thank you.
Ayan, thank you so much po. Talaga namang sa student na nagtanong nun, sana nasagot yung question mo. So, ayan. So, meron pa tayong next na question dito. So, Maynard, ikaw na bahalang magtanong.
Yes, ma'am. Shout out po sa mga speakers natin. May isa po tayong question dito. Ang question po is, how can we practice gender equality in the School of Nursing?
Okay, so how we practice gender equality in the School of Nursing. As far as I know, okay, as the Dean of the School of Nursing, all the policy crafted, of course, and the benefits, we don't consider whatever gender ka. So like for example, sabi ko nga a while ago, regarding the learning outcomes and everything, there's no hindrance. Wala tayong hinihindian doon. As long as you are a student of the School of Nursing, you are entitled for that. Wala tayong any policy that only for men, only for women. Yun lang po. Okay, so we practice really the gender equality in the School of Nursing. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So, talaga namang nararamdaman namin yun na walang discrimination dito sa nursing. Because, yeah. So, thank you, ma'am, for answering that. Dapat doon sa nagtanong doon sa question na yan, sana na-elaborate ka something. Thank you po.
Yan. I would also like to add up lang dun sa sinabi ni Dean na yun kasi yung actually hindi ko alam pero idol, idol si Dean. Kasi talagang si Dean kasi is she is not looking on one-sided. Like she really looks at all aspects and in all corners of our minds. Kasi hindi lang tayo dapat maging biased or anything. And yun yung kinaganda ng team natin, especially here in University of Baguio School of Nursing. And of course, sa mga baka meron dito na inspiring maging dean, tulad ni Ma'am Helen, maging successful din, tulad po ni Ma'am Christine and also Kate Banwa. And we all have our own success in life. And they are the ones na talagang model sa atin, since yun nga ang topic natin ngayon is Women's Month celebration, na ang theme is babae ako, hindi basta babae lang. Ayan. So before we formally wrap up this seminar, may we call on again Ma'am Zorin Basilio for the awarding of certificates.
All right. Thank you, our dear speakers. So congratulations to our 3 speakers. In behalf of the University of Baguio School of Nursing, management, and faculty and staff, we would like to award this certificate of recognition to our 3 speakers. Let me read the citation: for unselfishly contributing to the realization of the university's mission, vision, and objective in providing balanced quality education by being our resource speaker during the celebration of Women's Month with the theme Babae ak Bakenak Wat Babae ang Gay. So this certificate of recognition is presented to our Dean Helen Alalag, our BSN 4 level coordinator, Ma'am Kate Banwa, and our keynote speaker, Ma'am Christine Dr. Kula. Congratulations.
Thank you po.
Thank you po. And thank you, Ma'am Christine, in behalf of the School of Nursing. Salamat po. Thank you very much.
Thank you po.
Okay, yan. So thank you so much po for all the lecturers of today's event. So maraming salamat po sa effort at time niyo po na pinagaloob sa amin sa araw na to. Talagang nakinig ako sa mga nag-join dyan. Maraming salamat din sa lahat ng nag-join sa NCC from A604. So maraming salamat. Sana nakinig kayong lahat at sana marami kayong naiintindihan, marami kayong i-absorb sana natin lahat ng information na napakinggan natin sa lahat sa ating tatlong naggagandahan at naggagaling ng mga lecturers. So ayun, Maynard.
And now to the call ILBP extension and community outreach service for her closing remarks. Let's give her a virtual round of applause.
Ayan, and thank you very much, ma'am. So there's more, and I know we want more, but this program on Women's Month celebration webinar with the theme Babae Ako, Hindi Babae Lang has come to its end. But the goal of achieving gender equality for an upheld tomorrow will definitely be achieved in no time. So to formally close the program, in behalf of the University of Baguio School of Nursing, we would like to extend our grateful appreciation to each and everyone who in one way or another made this program successful. To our dear students, faculty members, and staffs, thank you very much. To the organizers, salute to all of you, ma'ams and sirs. To our enthusiastic speakers, our very own energetic, our Dean, Ma'am Helen Alalag, the words of wisdom you shared on understanding the concept of gender and gender development is indeed something for us to ponder and embrace. Our strong Empowered Level 4 Coordinator, Ma'am Kate Banwa. Your inspiring message on sexuality and student youth well-being definitely left each and one of us, especially the young ones, with nutrients to digest and share to others. Of course, to our guest of honor, our keynote speaker, Senior Superintendent Christine Dr. Kula, the food for the mind you is instilled on gender equality touched our hearts, which will surely be cherished and will be remembered. To the University of Baguio and to the School of Nursing, way to go. And let's not forget the Almighty Father who made all things possible. Again, to all women out there, remember, babae taku, bakun taku wat babae lang. Thank you very much and God bless us all. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for those warm closing remarks. Before we say farewell, the evaluation link is already posted in the chat box. I hope all of us gathered enough knowledge regarding Women's Month because it not just benefits women specifically, but also at any gender. We are also thankful to the faculty and staffs who gave us the opportunity to be your Masters of Ceremony. We're also thankful to the School of Nursing, especially to our Dean, for their endless support and hard work to make this event a successful one. And most especially to everyone here who gave their time and effort to attend this event. Rest assured that you did not regret to attend this webinar. You already know who we are, University of Baguio. It's all up here. Thank you and have a great day ahead.
All right, before we end, may I ask everyone to turn on your cameras for our photo ops. On muna tayong lahat. Ayan. Wow, ang NCD as a class pala sila. Sige, turn on your cameras, everyone. Madina, isa lang ang gusto niya. All right. Pwede na? Okay, first panel, everyone. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Second panel, hold on. Okay, second panel, smile. Okay. Third panel, hold on. Smile. Fourth, we have 6 panels. So I'm on the 4th. Okay. Second to the last, hold your smiles. And the last panel. All right, thank you very much. Okay, students, again, please do not forget to answer the evaluation form. So the evaluation form is posted already in your chat box. You have to answer the questions. You have to answer at least 3 over 5 out of the questions for you to be issued or for us to issue a certificate to you guys. So please answer the questions also in the evaluation form. Thank you and goodbye, everyone.